Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions, and in particular the continuation of the Savage or Not series for Variant 2. This one is kind of the heavy attack method, or the heavy slash special attack method. Now you can utilize Archangel and a whole host of other champions. I've heard people use Cap Infinity War, even seen images of people using Killmonger to a degree in certain aspects of Variant 2. But we're going to focus mainly on the heavy attack method, especially with Domino. Now you need for this a Red Hulk, and you need yourself for this a Domino. Not everybody's going to have that, so it's going to be one of those scenarios where people go, oh, what do I do for this? Get a Corvus. I do enjoy it when people do see that, but obviously you need to understand, if you hit champions like I just did there, you're going to get glanced and it's going to hurt you. This is what we're going to do. We're building up. You can use special attacks without drawing any kind of concern, and it is important at some points to just like drop in a special attack whenever you can. And also it's even better if that champion gains anything like bleed. So like then we get a bleed. It's good. And the enemy is done. Very simple, heavy attack method with a bit of special attack. It's kind of like it's working for people, but is it going to work everywhere, I think is the next point. And the answer is yes and no. At times when you've got poison, like for example here, like it's poison on this route, this is the point that you'd have to use a champion as bleed immune. Some of those XL champions that are bleed immune are going to be really good. So you've got King Groot, you've got Sentinel, Dormammu, for example. Those would be good champions for that particular route, for this particular mission here. And a lot of them do have this, so don't think that it's going to be the permanent method that's going to work throughout. There will be stuff with initial clear, and it's a point that you've got to read. Even though there's going to be some people that like to live dangerously and won't want to read, you will notice that indeed poison is going to be the real aggressor there. And at times when champions are more vulnerable, in 3.2 for example, this is the point that for sure this is all about utilizing champions that do poison. So King Groot does poison, so why not use King Groot instead? Overgrowth is the name of the game, so utilize it as best you can. But the Incinerate heavy attack method, the Archangel heavy attack method, they're only as good as the nodes that are there and the buffs that are there at the same time. I definitely know as soon as I've done my completion of Variant 2, I will be 565ing Domino for the purpose of just damage outputting more, and I am still enjoying the champion. Champion as well has escaped several, and I'll put this in bunny ears, nerfing, which has basically meant that either crits have been targeted by Kabam, or it's going to be a case of Incinerate's been targeted by Kabam, but she's escaped them. She's come out unscathed, so it's all right. I currently have no interest for Suicide Masteries. I went off them a long time ago. I may choose to come back to them at a later date, but Suicide Masteries haven't really been something I overly enjoyed. Yes, you damage output huge amounts. Yes, certain champions are able to showcase some amazing damage output, and a lot of key players do have them. But they're only good as a certain point, and I don't want to have to switch between masteries constantly or even make tiny tweaks. I like having this mastery here. I like having a very standard build that is not going to see me take any damage on recoil, or at the same time something that I've then got to change in a couple of weeks because I've got Alliance Wars coming up. And having a defender that has suicides is basically suicide, especially if it goes in as a boss or any key type of area where you want to have kills rather than deaths. Either way, for those that don't have any of the champions that damage out with the heavy attack method, do look at other champions. You've got Venom. Venom's great because there's going to be some nodes that have bleed vulnerability. It's not just about poison vulnerability, it's going to be bleed vulnerability. And right at the start of the progression of Variant 2, especially in 1.1, 1.2, you got bleed vulnerability, and a champion like Venom is always really fun to use for that. And as well, he's a complete powerhouse. Also, there are other champions to use, and it is nice, like I've always said, to brush off the dust from these old XL champions and utilize them. I use my Sentinel a lot. I love my Dormammu, King Groot as well, great champions. MODOK, the list goes on. Either way, thank you very much for joining me on this adventure in Savage or Not as my progression route for Variant 2 takes hold. You'll only see some real kind of like progress with like completion and 100%ing as the series goes on. So by about the 29th or 30th of April, you'll probably see it all done and dusted. I may live stream some stuff of it, I may not, we'll see. But either way, thanks so much for being on a journey with me. Hopefully your journey is going well as well. I've been RichTheMan. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Hit the link in the description to follow the playlist as we progress through, or hitting up the different numbers because I will put the chapter numbers. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I've been RichTheMan. Catch you next one. Bye bye for now.